Well, here we go, everybody. We're building roads again in an assembly line style. And these roads are going to go in the residential area. So we've got the roads and then the little road extenders that we're building and putting on the sides as well. Technic bricks holding them in place. Building 7 right there, plus a couple curves. Then we got some more built and placed already. So there's the double long for the Quickie Mart. Also this curve, 3 straights, another curve, and then these specialized ones here with the driveway pull-in and the line break. So there's that one there going to this old Creator 3-in-1 house. This one doesn't have a driveway, so there's no modification to the road. This one does have a driveway, so there's a slight modification right there. All the other ones on the desk are going to finish off this area, other than the specialty one that has to be created for the Home Alone house, and then some other ones that actually enter into the neighborhood. After I get the road plates placed with the road extenders, I add my sewers. So the actual grill element with the blue 1x2 underneath is 4 studs in. I surround that by dark gray. On the side closest to us, it's on the left side. And then on the side furthest away from us, it's on the right side. And then I start laying my underlying brick, so 1x2s and also 2x2s. And right now I've got them spaced out for 4x6 plates. So then when I grab my 4x6 plate, I can start just laying it across and start to build the back end of my sidewalk. And then after that, I'll put 2x light gray plate on the forward side, just so it has the light gray edge when you look at the sidewalk. So just try to do like multiple at a time in an assembly line so it goes quicker, because you just grab all the same pieces, grab all the 2x2 bricks, lay out all the 2x2 bricks, lay out all the 4x6 plate, and it just goes a little bit quicker this way. But yeah, I've built so many of these road plates. It's funny, I was doing the math. I think it's $9.60 for the tile just to go on the road plates on either side, depending on what it is. And then the base plate that it sits on is $10 Canadian. And then the actual road plate parts with the tiles and the underlying plate underneath that, and then all of the underlying brick underneath the sidewalk and the plate as well. So I'm gonna say each road plate is like 25 Canadian dollars roughly. Oh my gosh, I was doing that math yesterday and I was sort of like, wow, that's pretty insane to think. When I used to build a Lego city, all you would need is just the old like base plate style roads, which were like packs of 2 for 20 bucks. It was only $10 each plus the tile. So I guess it was pretty much around the same after you tile it off fully. And these look way better in my opinion. These roads here are almost done. They're missing some pieces though. They're missing some of the 1x2 tiles, also the 1x6 tiles that go over top of the sewer. Unfortunately, I'm out of 1x6 tiles. So I just hit up the Lego website because it's double points and placed an order for some 1x6 tiles. I also placed an order the other day for more 2x4 tiles and more 1x8 tiles in dark gray, not for the roads, but for the train tracks. And then I placed another order today for the 1x6 tiles, and I also placed another order. I was on the Lego website and I was searching the high-speed passenger train. That's the train that we saw on the ground at the end of the vlog, at the end of yesterday's vlog. This train right here, one of my favorite trains, but apparently when it fell off the track going down that downslope curve at too high of speeds, I accidentally broke, well, I guess just the collision of it, broke a couple of the connection points for the wheels. They're like these yellow plates that have an upright Technic pin. So I was searching on Lego Bricks and Pieces to see if they offer those parts on their website, because I need to order a couple more of those because I broke 2 when it went off the track, which was unfortunate. But as I was searching for those parts, I came across some other important parts for the Lego city. And let me just tell you, these parts here are going to fuel a huge project related to trains. And I ordered a lot of them, 400 to be exact. Pretty exciting. They're actually a bestseller and they're going to be here soon, and they are straight tracks. They sell straight tracks on Lego Bricks and Pieces, and they were $1.70 a straight track. But I ordered 400 of them. because I have this plan for subway. And in order to do that, I need more straight track. And I also have a plan to bring back the raised line. And I want to have the raised line, pass on the base of the mountain on the raised platform coverings, and also run through the downtown core and probably go like close to the amusement park. So I'm gonna need more track, and it's double points, so I figured I may as well do it during double points. That was a big bullet to bite, but I feel like now is the time to do it because it's double points. And we're building the city. It's just gonna fuel that project. So once those arrive, I can start to think about that project as well. More trains. All right, we've got those 7 plates built. We may as well place them here in the residential area. I just love doing this just because it squares everything off. And it just looks so clean. Like when we started this day, essentially all these road plates were just the 16 by 16 road plates in the center with 8 studs of green on either side. Did not look good at all. But now we have sidewalk. So in addition to placing the road plates, I also want to try and square everything off with the 32 by 32 base plates. So I'm actually going to add a bunch of those to this area, and I'm also removing some of the other road plates that I need to create still, such as the one in front of the McAllister's house there, and also the ones connecting from the downtown to the residential area. I also want to work on getting this train station figured out. This is probably the best spot for the train station. I guess it could go somewhere like by the amusement park, or it could actually go on the line, like on the left side of the camera there. The problem is then I would have to reconfigure all that train track just because the way that the 2 lines are set up in this train station is very strange. Like it doesn't work the best with your standard Lego train track. You're probably better off ordering some additional 3D printed train tracks from Tricks Bricks or whatever it may be, just because the gap isn't correct. So you've got to like make it work with a switch track, some curves, some straights, some flexi track, which I just can't stand to use. So eventually I'll have to order some third-party stuff, but for now I just want to try and make it work, and I want to try and lock down where this train station is going to go and put in the switch track coming off of the tiled off track there, and another switch track which will divide the line into 2 so that there's 2 trains that can pass through the train station at once. Optimally, it would be like sitting somewhere on the line, but once again, I think that for now, this is probably the best spot for this train station. And there you go, just like that, I've been able to connect both lines going through it. There's a lot of cleanup work that has to do in this area, but I'm happy with it for now. It's a time for celebration, everybody, because the road plates in the residential area are finished up. Like they are officially done. The Simpsons are pretty fired up on it. Look at them. They're having a party. And they were just all on top of the Quickie Bar, decided to set them all up there. So we've got our first minifigs introduced into the Lego City. And you know what? I would be able to go around and add minifigures if I so choose. Just to the downtown area and also to the residential area. And I would be able to add vehicles and details if I truly wanted to. I fixed up all these roads here. So this one's pretty cool. Goes into the McAllister's house there. And then there's also this one here, which of course is a full base plate. And that connects to the railroad crossing there. Now the railroad crossing, or the tracks, are all light gray. They're tiled off in light gray, but eventually I'll be switching that so it's all tiled off in dark gray. Just don't have the parts right now. So that's going to look consistent all on this side of the city. You can see the railroad crossing plate. That one was pretty cool, like a modified road plate there. And it connects nicely to the ones in the downtown area. I ran out of this color here, so I wasn't able to finish the bicycle lane, but it's going to essentially go around that corner and then stop at the railroad crossing, because we're not going to have the bicycle lanes in the residential area. Now I'm happy that I went around and I added all the base plates, because that sort of squared everything off, and now I know that we've got some serious structure here. I think it looks pretty good. However, with that said, I've got a bunch of mills plating to do. So I need to get a lot of 4x4 or 8x8 or 16x16 or whatever it may be, green plate, and I need to plate this entire area off because I want to have a lot more green space in this Lego city. There's a lot of open space, which is great because I think that just makes everything look so much better and luscious. And what I want to do is just Mills plate all of this stuff right here. So all these green plates that you see, also that gray plate there, Mills plate all of that stuff up and blend these tracks right into the Mills plate. So integrate them right in, like embed them, just like the other corners that I did here in the city. So I want to do that with the curves over there and also the switches. And then that's going to take care of that. It's going to make it look nice. Now, something else that I want to do with the landscape here in the city as well, I talked about it in a previous video. Once I get my foundation laid of all the green plate, I want to grab a bunch of green brick and also all sorts of different vegetation and start to make some small hills. For example, if I had this come up a little bit with green brick, like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 bricks, and there's like these hills sort of rolling all over the city in the open spaces. So here on the side of the train station, here on the side of the train track, there on the side of the train track. I think that would look super cool. Also, I've got this other train station here. This is going to be the train station that services the amusement park, so that's going to scoot down that way once I actually start to develop the amusement park. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the actual positioning of all of these buildings. Luckily for me, if I do decide to move these buildings, so for example, if I want to flip the Quickie Mart and put it on the other side, and the McAllister's house and the Simpsons house, and maybe move this one over there to the front, well, then I just move the road plates with it because these road plates are sort of going to be allocated to the buildings that they sit in front of. So if I needed to reshuffle this, it would be no problem. I could do that. And of course, it's Lego, so if I wanted to spend half a day moving things around and rebuilding the plates, I could do that. But I'm pretty happy with this layout. And I think the green hill vegetation idea is really going to pull this area together. Now this train station is really weird. Just the spacing of it doesn't match up with the city, with my city. Specifically, like the track spacing here doesn't match up with the standard switch track, so I might have to order a third-party switch just so we don't have this weird stuff going on with the flex track on either side. Just doesn't look good at all, but this is what I have to do to make it work. It doesn't look as bad on this side where we've got the double switch and then the curve. I think that actually looks pretty decent, but I'm pretty happy with this. I think this looks super clean, especially once I change that there to dark gray. But there we go. All the roads in the residential area are done, and also all the roads in the downtown area are done as well. So I was trying to think to myself, what do I do next in the Lego City? There's so much stuff that I could do, but what's going to be the next project? Like, where do we go from here? Because this is a huge accomplishment. I feel like great about this. Let me tell you, I used to have a lot of pieces. I no longer have a lot of pieces. I keep running out of like dark gray brick, 1x white tile, the azure brick, 2x4 tiles for tiling the road together, or adding the nice tiles to the train track, 4x4 green plate. Like, I am constantly running out of pieces. It is wild because I had so many stashed for this project and I keep running out. And now, as I look to do other things, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna have the pieces to do that like the way I wanna do it, because when I do things here, I wanna make sure that I do them properly. I don't wanna just like, you know, do it, so it's like, it's done. You know, I wanna make it look like really, really good. So that's my goal. So I was thinking there's a few different things that we can move on to next. Something that I really wanna accomplish is the canal. But once again, I wanna do this right. I don't wanna just like run into it and not put a lot of effort into it. What I could do is just extend the sidewalk, 8 studs on either side. So do 8 studs there, 8 studs on the other side, and then do 16 studs of water running through the middle and call it a day. You know what I mean? Just do like a light gray masonry wall or the same wall as this here and be done with it. But I don't know if that's gonna look very good, because these modular buildings right here, for example, they come a base plate, a brick, a plate, and then a tile up off the ground, like off the table. This, we're already at a base plate. So if I add a base plate and then I add a layer of underlying plate and then the tile, well, now we only have like a brick of depth to work with. So the canal isn't going to have like a huge wall. Well, I don't want it to be huge, but it's not going to have a very big wall up against the modular building. So I want to add some elevation along the canal. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. I've got some other ideas running through my head. It's like, okay, we could use IKEA boxes. We could do Technic structures underneath. We could raise it up right into the mills plate, so rather than having one brick underneath the plates that support the modular buildings, you could have 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or whatever it may be. So I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. And I think what's going to go down is it's actually going to be a gradual incline, and it's probably going to start right about there where the diner is, and then each modular building will go up about 1 brick or 2 bricks at a time. So we'll be at ground level, then 2 bricks, 4 bricks, 6 bricks, and then we'll be 6 bricks up off the ground, giving the canal more depth on that side of the canal. And I'll probably be able to continue that along here. So these modular buildings will also be approximately 6 bricks tall up off the ground. And then I'll also do that with Town Hall, which will be 6 bricks up off the ground level of the canal. And then we can transition back into the mountains. But I was just trying to think like how I'm going to do that, because we have the road plates and all that. Is the road gonna incline with it, or is the road gonna stay at ground level and just the modular buildings are gonna go up and there's gonna be some sort of like retaining wall up against the road? Maybe I need to eliminate that bicycle lane and get rid of the bicycle lane so that the sidewalk can actually raise up on the road as well and sort of blend in with the height of the gradual incline of the modular buildings. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around how to do that before I just jump in guns blazing on this canal. I want to make sure that I get some more height variation with those modular buildings before I just go and extend the sidewalk, and that it's just literally an extended sidewalk and water running through. I just don't think that would look as good, so I want to make sure that I do that right. So I've just got to like sleep on that before I actually start that project. And then another thing that I need to continue to work on is the boardwalk. So I need to connect this here. And I think there's going to be like some sort of angled boardwalk that's going to angle around this corner connecting to the beach boardwalk. And then I need to get more tile because I'm out of tile. I was doing some testing here with dark blue. I don't think dark blue is going to look very good here. I think I only want to use dark blue in the deeper portions of the water. So I think dark blue will be used like on the outskirts here where it's a little bit deeper. And then it'll also be used in the boatyard or harbor, which will be right over here. So I was just like thinking to myself for like an hour, just sort of walking around, like how are we going to do this, thinking, planning, all that, right? And I think what's going to happen over here is I'm probably going to build some rocks. You can see they're already here, and they're going to curve around like this and sort of connect to the lighthouse. So it's going to separate the harbor from the beach. So I need some sort of separation. I don't want to have a massive boat park right here without some sort of separation. So now I'm just like trying to ask myself, what am I going to do next? You know, like, am I going to do the canal and raising these buildings, and how am I going to raise those buildings? And how is that going to look from the backside when I start to raise those buildings? How am I going to blend that in? What are you going to do with the sidewalks? There's a lot of different variables when it comes to that, and also like what parts are you going to use? Do you have enough parts to do that? Yeah, so it's just like I'm trying to figure out where to go from here, and there's a lot that I could do. It's just a matter of doing it correctly. But at least now I can confidently say that the roads for now are done. Like the Lego City downtown roads, also the residential roads, it was a huge project and involved a lot of pieces, a lot of time, and a lot of sorting, and a lot of planning, and just a lot of repetitious labor, but it is officially done. So now I can sort of continue and go from there, which I'm excited about, because that's just something I've been trying to achieve for quite some time. So slowly but surely I am getting there. I think the next thing I'm going to start working on, I don't know if it's going to be this rock work over here and the harbor, or raising up those buildings and starting to work on the canal. It's one of those two things. I don't think I'm gonna like start working on the amusement park. I think I gotta get this forward section and also like the stuff that involves the downtown core. Like this canal is sort of gonna be like a centerpiece. So I think the canal needs to happen before I start working on things like the amusement park way back there. It's gonna be a lot, but I'm excited. It's gonna be cool. Everybody, that's really about it. Just wanted to share the experience as we finished up the roads here in the Lego City. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future. And of course, have yourselves a fantastic day. Farewell.